Last week, I was wondering what video we could make on the channel that we've never made before. I'm trying to push myself and do new kinds of content. And Miranda, my wife, also the co-owner of Make Pop Music, had the genius idea of doing a video where I make one song in 4 different styles. And so we played around with the format, and what we came up with was, what if I took an acapella, sang it through the chorus, and then basically said I have to do a different genre or style for the verse, the pre-chorus, the chorus, and the post-chorus. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to put a bunch of genres on a wheel and let the wheel pick for me. And whatever it gives me is what I have to produce this acapella in. So I'm super excited to jump into this. We've never done anything like this. If you do like it, make sure that you comment down below and let us know. And if you like videos like this, make sure that you subscribe, because we do them every single Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So definitely make sure you come back for more. But before we hop in, I just have one quick announcement. We are running our Black Friday sale, so right now until the end of December 6th, you can save 50% off of all sample packs, MIDI packs, and preset packs at makepopmusic.com. You can also save 25% off of all courses, and we have a couple new things for you to check out. We have a new pack called The Works. We have samples and presets that you can get individually or as a bundle, and we have a start-to-finish production course in the style of pop, like Sabrina Carpenter, Chappell Roan, Taylor Swift, Dua Lipa. It's 20 hours, 55 lessons, full start to finish. Both of those are included in the sale right now. And we have an exclusive bonus that if you spend over $50 during our Black Friday sale, you'll be getting a free pack called Happy Accidents. It's the only way that anybody will ever get that pack. So go check all of that out at makepopmusic.com right now. The Black Friday sale is one of the biggest things that we do all year. So make sure you go support, make sure you grab some stuff and save yourself some money. Again, there will be a link in the description that lasts until the end of December 6th. So let's go ahead and let's jump in so you can hear exactly what we have. Here is the acapella.
Save your breath with your better intentions. I've heard it all and it's making me sick. All my love is turned into resentment.
So we have like 105, we're in D major.
I think it's time for a quick intervention.
We go into a pre-chorus.
Say we do this over and over again. You swear that he's just a friend.
So I recorded this to nothing. This was just kind of a voice memo I had on my phone that then I tightened up and actually tracked. Here's what the chorus is like.
Your thigh grip tight and can't come rewriting our story.
Here's the chorus.
Don't come back trying to figure it out. I've spent 6 months just trying to forget all about you. You had your chance, but you ran into the ground. 'Cause if I kiss your lips without any doubt, I'd still taste him on your mouth.
So let's go ahead and let's spin the wheel to see what genres we get. So here is the wheel that I have created. As you can see, we have dark pop, we have hyper pop, country, rock, pop punk, folk pop, R&B, hip hop, electronic, UKG, Afro beats. Then we go to disco pop and retro pop. Let's just spin it. I'm just gonna let it pick at random. So hit spin. And for verse 1, we have to produce it in the style of R&B. Yep, we're gonna be going in the style of R&B. And then for the pre-chorus, let's see what we're going to get. It'd be cool if we get something completely different that's not just like hip-hop or something. R&B again? Oh, ooh, folk pop. Okay, so we're going to do this in the style of like Folklore by Taylor Swift or like the new Gracie Abrams stuff, Noah Kahan. Let's give it another spin. For the chorus, we have electronic. That'll be super interesting going from folk pop to electronic. Maybe we do that in the style of like Charlie XCX. And then for the last genre, this will be the post-chorus. Afrobeats would be fun. Oh, okay. We're going to be doing UKG. So it looks like we have R&B, we have folk pop, we have electronic, and we have UKG. Let's dive in. I'm just going to start with the R&B stuff. Since we have this, I'm in D major. I'm just going to pull up kind of a pad and start laying down some R&B chords. So for the first patch that I'm using, I just kind of want like a sine wave patch. I'm going to be using this brassy pad called Sorry. This is out of the new Works pack. I will say that we're going to be using the Works a lot because the whole vibe of that pack is that it can handle any genre that you throw at it. So I'm going to go ahead and get the big plug out of the way. Go check it out. It's half off right now. You can get Serum presets and drum samples. I'm not going to talk about it too much more. So since we're in D major, we could just do something like...
Save your breath with your better intentions. I've heard it all and it's making me sick. All my love is turned into resentment.
But that feels way too pop. So maybe instead, let's like spice up these chords. And maybe do like a D major 7 or even a D major 9. And then we'll just keep playing around. So I'm just going to lay down some kind of R&B chords, work on those 7ths, 9ths, maybe a diminished chord, just get some spice in there. So here's what we came up with. As you can see, we're kind of layering it.
Save your breath with your better intentions. I've heard it all and it's making me sick. All my love has turned into resentment. Tore me down brick by brick. Should've listened to my intuition.
Just kind of getting those cluster chords in there, that's really, really important for R&B. And I kind of want to go ahead and layer this with like a nice E piano. So I'm just going to layer it and see what we can find. I'm going to go into the works. Let's look at keys. There's one in here that I think might work. Bed. Yeah, this is inspired by Bedkim by Sabrina Carpenter. So I think that if we just adjust some of these, that could layer under there really, really well. So I'm going to layer that up real quick. And then the last thing that I kind of want to add is I want to add some kind of like movement pad, something to have a little bit of counter melody. So I think I'm going to pull up a pad and then I might post-process it with a little bit of like kickstart or maybe even transit 2, something just to give it a little bit of movement. So if we go into our pads, that could work. That could work. There's one on here that I think could be really, really great. Here's what we ended with. We ended with a pad called Optional. So it's just kind of this bright pad. And we're going to be doing quite a bit of filtering. So I'm going to add the effects modulator from Cubase just to give us some ramping. We're going to do some auto pan as well. And a little bit of extra reverb. So now when we layer this in, it'll sound like this.
Save your breath with your better intentions. I've heard it all and it's making me sick. All my love has turned into resentment. Tore me down brick by brick. Should've listened to my intuition. Saw it coming.
Let's put some drums on this to really fill out the R&B vibe. I'm going to be using the works pretty much for all of the samples, I think. So I'm going to just layer an R&B kit right now. For kicks, we can just go to the folder. Really, any of these would work. I think I'm just going to use Chase for right now. And then for the rims, let's go to our main snare rims, because I don't really want like a big snare hit. Maybe we do this wider one, and then we just like layer in a snap underneath that, maybe like that space snap. So that'll kind of give us our big kick and snare arrangement. Here we go. This is what it sounds like with that kick, that rim shot, and then that snap.
Save your breath with your better intentions. I've heard it all and it's making me sick.
I'm going to go ahead and do some hi-hats, and I think I'm going to do these with a sampler in Cubase, and that'll just allow me to pitch them and kind of roll them like a sprinkler hat. And then we can go into our hi-hats folder. We'll go into electronic, closed. I'm just going to use sprinkler. And I'm just going to program in like kind of a 16th note or an 8th note with a little bit of flourishes here and there. So I went ahead and programmed some sprinkler hats. As you can see, they're kind of automated with a little bit of velocity control here. That's why I like using the sampler, because it'll be dynamic like that. And then I just have some pitched rolls.
Save your breath with your better intentions. I've heard it all and it's making me sick.
I also went ahead and threw in some percussion stuff. So I threw in this little cowbell right here called Mellow. And then I also threw in just a big crash right here. And then the last thing was I threw in a little percussive rim hit called Trapped. And that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and layer a bass under here, and that'll basically be it for the R&B section. For the main bass underneath everything, I am using the Atlantis bass. Just kind of a big detuned synth bass pad, something that you'd hear in kind of dark R&B hip hop a lot. And then I have this little pluck. I'm only pulling this in for the second half. This is going to give us that more 90s R&B, almost think of like Pony. So we're just layering that underneath. Here's what the R&B section sounds like.
Save your breath with your better intentions. I've heard it all and it's making me sick.
Let's go ahead and get a little bit of a vocal mix on this. I just want to add some wet effects. We just have some basic EQ and processing right now. I'm going to add some space, and then we'll continue from there. Now let's hear it with a little bit of extra reverb and delay and just a little bit of sauce, nothing crazy. Vocals are not the specialty of this video.
Save your breath with your better intentions. I've heard it all and it's making me sick. All my love has turned into resentment. Tore me down brick by brick. Should've listened to my intuition. Saw it coming a mile away. I think it's time for a quick intervention. And I say we do
So now we need to move on to folk pop. I think for that, I'm going to grab a 12-string guitar. And what I kind of want to do to make each version feel special is not just do the same exact chord progression. So we're going to stick in the key as far as I know. But for right now, we're not going to be doing that same chord. So let's try something new. With this, let's try like some palm mutes.
Save your breath with your better intention. Time for a quick intervention. And I say we do this over and over again. You swear that he's just a...
Maybe that.
Time for a quick intervention. And I say we do this over and over again. You swear that he's just a friend. But I see your stories when he's next to you, and they were posted 1:30 or 2 a.m.
So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go. And so also on top of that palm mute, I kind of want to do like a... maybe like a mandolinish vibe. Do some little licks like that. I'm going to track up all the acoustic guitar and show you what I get. Let's take a look at the acoustic guitar. I just tracked it up. I had to set up a mic and everything, but this is just acoustic guitar tracked in through the Sony C800, whole chain going, and here's the palm mutes. Then we have that little ascending melody. Then it all comes in at once with some extra riffs and strums. And here's what that sounds like. Added some reverb. Then just added some like really nice thick strums. And I did the 12-string for all of those. Let's go ahead and just add like a 4 on the floor, like soft, folky kick drum. I think I have the perfect one for that. When I was making this pack and I was doing the country section, I wanted to make sure that I did like, you know, the Post Malone, kind of Luke Combs big country, but I also wanted to include some of the softer, folky country stuff, and I have one on here. That. So I think I'm going to layer that as like a 4 on the floor thing, and then we'll just kind of build it up from there. One thing that I will say too that I kind of want to do is I need to add a little tempo ramp, probably right around here, because as we go into the electronic section, I just need to keep in mind that this is going to have to be closer to like, I don't know, 128. So let's just go ahead and add that now before we start adding too much stuff on here. And so now we'll get...
don't come back trying to...
There we go. It just matched that vocal to it.
don't come back trying to...
Okay, and then I think there's like another mark down here. So we'll just set another mark down here because for some reason it's thinking that it needs to ramp down. So we'll call that good. Let's layer up those drums now. So here we go. I went ahead and did all the drums at once. So we have that 4 on the floor kick.
Over and over again, you swear that he's just a friend. But I've seen your stories when he...
And then I went ahead and did a little tom fill to go into the second half. One thing that I want to show you, I did this off camera, but I will replicate it, is I have a little triplet fill right here. One thing that I've been doing a lot to kind of like make one-shot drums feel a little bit more realistic is, let me show you. So if I were to normally just make a triplet fill, let's go to a 16th note triplet, and I were to say, okay, let's do this, it'll sound like this. Actually, let's speed it up. Let's do a 30-second triplet because I want it to be more like a roll. So let's try this. That doesn't sound very good to me. So what I've been doing with one-shot samples, especially as I was making this pack, obviously we're going to clip gain these down a little bit. And what I'll do is I'll probably clip gain all of them down about 8. And then I'm just going to make each one a little bit different. So I'll go like that. And then the real key is to kind of offset these a little bit. So you don't want that transient coming in because as a drum hits softer, you have to think that that transient is not as abrasive. So if we have all of these one shots that feel, you know, kind of like a max transient element, I'm just going to offset that transient. And they're tucked so low in the mix that you can't really hear it or anything, but it feels so much more realistic. So now here's what it sounds like. And you could even make it more realistic by taking it down like this. One thing too is to slightly offset the pitch so I can change the fine tuning of them. Since they are hit softer, they're going to be a little bit more flat than the main tom. So here we go. That versus, you know, what would have been this. So offset the transient just a hair, and then obviously clip gain them down quite a bit, and then change the tuning just a little bit, and you'll get realistic, or at least more realistic, kind of tom rolls and snare rolls like this. And then we go into this area where I am pulling in a bigger kick. We just use the warm toms for that. I'm pulling in this bigger kick called Stadium right here. This is out of the pop folder.
They were posted.
Just filtered it. We don't need that low end though, because we already have that main folky kick. And then I'm just layering that with some hi-hats. Same thing kind of with the hi-hats of if you're going to do rolls and stuff. In the works, we gave you open, closed, and choked hi-hats. So we're just playing the closed. We have the volumes kind of automated right here. And we'll slide in a little choke every now and then. And then we also layered in a tambourine. So it sounds like this. And that's us speeding up. Then again, we have another little fill right here. I used some bigger drums. I used this whiskey snare out of the works. And then I used the roadie kind of tom set that we have in there. And again, kind of offset everything. Did my volume, did my pitch automation. You can see right here, fine tuning is all a little bit off. And it sounds pretty realistic. So now when we layer all of that together, it kind of gives us the basis. I'm just going to layer in kind of like a little bass underneath. Nothing crazy, just kind of giving me a sub note. This is just a little bass out of Trillion just to give us something.
Over and over again.
It's just the 60s retro bass. I use that all the time. It's like if I need a real bass texture. And now I want to layer in just a couple synths and keys just to kind of give us a wider sound stage. For the first keys and synths that we have, I have this little spacey organ. It's just a key sound that we have. And I'm basically just replicating the palm mute pattern that we're doing. And I'm just doing some of those chord extensions on there. And then I'm replicating that little 12-string like melody lick that we have with this pluck called Chemistry. And then I just pull in this big, like, Mellotron-esque string sound right here, also from the works. Just a nice little kind of radio pad. And, yeah, I think that pretty much does it for the folk section. Let's hear how it goes.
And I say we do this over and over again. You swear that he's just a friend, but I've seen your stories when he's next to you, and they were posted 1:30 or 2 a.m. Your thigh got tied in his hand. You can't come rewriting a story. Don't come back trying to.
All right, we're going to mute all of this, and then we're going to go to a, I guess it's electronic is what we're doing. So I kind of want this to be like a brat thing, but maybe I'll wait to kind of give the big payoff. Let's go to our kicks folder. Let's see. Yeah, we literally have one called Charlie. I'm just going to use that as my 4 on the floor. And then for the hats, I think we have like a little 909. It's actually probably an open. Yeah, so I'm going to use the classic 909 on the back, and then I'm going to use the Charlie kick as my 4 on the floor, and then we'll layer a bass under there. Let's take a look at what we have. We have that kick and that hi-hat, but we also layered in an electronic crash and a live crash, so it's just going to give us this vibe. And then for the bass, I wanted to do kind of like a UK house thing for the first half, and then I'm going to go more into that Charlie XCX, Von Dutch-esque, almost like hyperpop second half. So for right now, we're using this London car keeping area bass, basically like a UK. And again, we're actually swapping up the chord progression just a little bit on this half. And I also am making the vocals a lot more electronic, so I'll unmute those so you can hear them. We'll go over the changes. So all we really did for this was made the auto-tune a lot more aggressive, added decapitator, and then just added a 910 harmonizer, and we made the vocals a little bit more wet. I also went ahead and just drug the formant of this back a little bit to make it sound a little bit more feminine and just mangled, honestly. So here's what it sounds like now with the bass, the kick, and that hi-hat.
I'm back trying to figure it out. I've spent 6 months just trying to forget about you.
Let's add a little lead element. I kind of want to add like a little little arp. I'm using 3 different sounds for this little lead arp. So we have one called Blue. I also have it sidechained a little bit. Since we're on a 4 on the floor, I have kickstart over basically all the synths. And let's hear what this one sounds like. And since that sound is basically right up the middle, I wanted to layer it, so we have a pluck called Birthday layered all the way to the left. More of like a Disclosure vibe, and then we have this conversational pluck to the right. Now when we layer all of those up with that 4 on the floor kick and that little kind of syncopated UK bass, here's where we're going into a slightly different vibe. For the second half, I'm keeping everything the same, but I'm adding a lot of layers, so we're adding this extra little hat. Just to give us some steady movement. And then we're also adding a big clap. This one is the thump clap. And we have the crashes coming in again. So the drums pick up a little bit. Now we actually have like a clap in there. And the big change is for the basses. So we're not doing that syncopated UK bass anymore. We're using one now called Neural Love. And I have it sidechained with some kickstart. I also have it being filtered because we're going to have some subs later. So we're doing that. We're layering that with this kind of hyperpop bass called that Hyperpop Goddess. And again, you can kind of use all of the macros to automate this. We might do that a little bit later. And then we're layering all of those with this sub that I called Perfect Sub when I made it. It's such a nice little low end. And when we layer all of those together with that bass, it just absolutely rips. So for the synths, we're keeping that. But I do want to layer up one thing. We're also adding an additional layer called that Robinson Flare. Shout out Porter Robinson. That's super grimy. And we actually have it coming in on the last little, like, kind of fill. And when we layer all of that with the vocals, it's pretty insane to go from something that sounds like it could be like a Taylor Swift or Gracie Abrams song to this. But let's just hear what it sounds like. Let's go ahead and just do a little mute right here. Let's hear that now. Don't come back trying to figure it out. I've spent 6 months just trying to forget about you. You had your chance, but you ran into the ground. 'Cause if I can see this without any doubt, I'll still take some money now. So for now, wasting my time on you, I'm wasting all my time. Time to move on to the UKG. So we're gonna do that typical. I'm gonna program some drums, and then this will be simple. UKG is normally just like drums, bass, pretty synth pad. You're pretty good after that. Here's what we have for the drums. So I have the kick is called Garage. Garage is obviously UK Garage, as we say in the US. And then for the snare, we have a Garage snare in there as well. And then we just have like a clicky little hi-hat. And then I actually had a shaker and a tambourine. I thought it would be a cool little vibe to have in here. And then we just have some extra percussion sounds. So cowbells, little blippy toms, little extra rim shots. And we're pulling all of this in on the kind of and. So it doesn't come in on the one, it comes on the one and. Wasting my time on you, I'm wasting all my time on you, I'm wasting my time on you, I'm wasting all my time on you, I'm wasting my time on you. And you can see we've got those little tom fills. It's really nice, feels really, really good. I just want to layer in a big bass pad underneath everything. We got a real big bass here called Darcinator. Just, again, a nice little bass pad. Again, I do have it side-chained. That's not typically on the patch. But we're turning on the side chain. We are kind of filtering this out a little bit more. You could filter it up. Take that sub out if you want. I like it like this. So let's hear it.
Wasting my time on you. I'm wasting all my time on you. I'm wasting my time on you. I'm wasting all my time on you. I'm wasting my time.
And then I just kind of want a nice, pretty little synth, similar to what we have here. And for UKG, I also like doing extended chords, so maybe we play around with some sevenths, similar to what we did in the R&B verse, but obviously following the new chord progression. So for the key sound that we had, I'm actually just using this one. It's called Yes or No. It's really nice. It's just kind of a nice filtered, like, pluck. And for the chords, we're doing this. So again, we kind of have those extensions, and then I just have this little pad over top, kind of doing a little pedaling thing. It's called waiting. It's just like a nice, pretty little Juno stringy, brassy pad. And then once we tuck that in with everything,
Wasting my time on you. I'm wasting all my time on you. I'm wasting my time on you. I'm wasting all my time on you. I'm wasting my time on you. I'm wasting all my time on you. On you. On you. My time on you.
now let's add some markers into here, and then we're going to hear the entire thing. Okay, so here is the entire project. We've got the R&B, the folk pop, the electronic, and the UKG. Every single sound in here, literally other than the Trillion bass that we used, and then these 12-string acoustic guitars, are from the works. Not trying to be a big promo, but that is pretty insane. And then I do just want to do a quick little plug. If you do want to learn more about how to like work with, especially like 12-string acoustic guitar and do more of like a pop record, go check out the new course we dropped. We use a lot of acoustic, especially 12-string in there. I go over recording it, mixing it, miking it, all of that good stuff. There wasn't time in this video to cover that, but maybe we can do that later. It's also in the course. Let's go ahead and let's hear what this entire song sounds like in 4 different genres.
Save your breath with your better intentions. I've heard it all and it's making me sick. All my love has turned into resentment. Turn me down brick by brick. Should've listened to my intuition. Saw it coming a mile away. I think it's time for a quick intervention. And I say we do this over and over again. You swear that he's just a friend, but I've seen your stories when he's next to you, and they were posted 1:30 or 2 a.m. Your thigh tied in his hand. You can't come rewriting our story. Don't come back trying to figure it out. I've spent 6 months just trying to forget about you. You had your chance, but you ran into the ground. 'Cause if I can still live without any doubt, I still take some on your mouth. So for now, wasting my time on you. I'm wasting all my time on you. I'm wasting my time on you. I'm wasting all my time on you. I'm wasting my time on you. I'm wasting all my time on you. On you. On you. My time on you.
And there we have it. That was such a fun exercise. It feels really chaotic to go through all of those different genres and styles, but this was so much fun. Let me know if you guys want me to do this video again. I could do it with 4 more completely different styles. Take these off the board, spin again. But if you like this, make sure that you subscribe. Make sure you comment down below. It helps out our channel and the video a ton. Also, make sure that you go check out our Black Friday sale before December 6th. 50% off of all of our sounds, 25% off of all of our choruses. We have that free exclusive pack for purchases over 50. Go check it out. Don't miss your chance. It really, really helps us make content like this every single week for free. So if you like the channel and want to support, that is 100% the best way to do it. And now's the best time to do so you can save yourself some money. But other than that, I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you had an amazing Thanksgiving. I hope you are all ready for the winter holidays. We're so excited to have all of this out right now, but I'll be back next week with more content. We're not taking any time off. We'll see you soon. Much love. Peace.